Welcome back. Good morning to the session 7 on module 3, that is multi-threading and string handling. And in this particular, that is the second part of your module 3, which is string handling. Mainly, we'll be focusing on two things. One is string built-in class of your Java and string buffer of your built-in class of your Java programming language, whereas string is immutable, which means once it gets created, you cannot change the characters of the string that has been created. And the other one is string buffer, where once it gets created, you can change the contents of it. That's the one major difference. And a lot of library functions are associated with string and string buffer built-in classes, and we need to explore the details of all those library functions in order to manipulate the strings. And with respect to placement point of view, or any hackathon events, or any online competitions on Java programming, definitely it is one of the hot topic where you will get most of the problems. Most of your problems will be based on either numbers or strings. So you should know the functionality of each of these library functions. Then only you can solve the couple of problems that is given in the hackathon events. So I will be dividing the content of string handling into three sessions. The first one is a set of library functions associated with the string class as a session one, and then the session two, whatever the library functions we discussed in the session one, I will be demonstrating with the Eclipse with a couple of examples. Of course, while telling the library also, I will be taking a small examples, but all together, how can you make use of those library functions in order to solve the problems? So try to take eye on that. We'll show a couple of examples in a session two, and in a session three, we'll focus on a string buffer, which is a mutable one. The difference between mutable and immutable: mutable means once the string gets created, you can change. Immutable means once it gets created, you cannot change. So it's a very important feature. And a set of library classes defined for string and a string buffer. No, these are the final classes. Like how you have a thread class in your Java programming. How can you inherit and create your own threads? In that way, you cannot inherit or you cannot extend from the string and string buffer classes. So these are the final classes. Of course, you can use it. You can use it as it is, but you cannot make a subset of it. You cannot add your own features into string and string buffer classes. That's the beauty of the programming that is introduced. Please remember, in a Java programming, string we say string is a built-in type, but still it is a object type, not a primitive type. I mean, a string, of course, string class is defined as a part of the Java language itself. Every time you need to create the object of the string class, so that will become a new data type. This is how the strings are treated in Java programming. Let us start with a couple of library functions and how do we create, how do we assign the characters, how do we make a subset of it, and all those operations with the strings. We'll go through the presentations one by one. I'll share the screen and we'll proceed. Okay. Okay, we'll try to explore the details of the string and string buffer classes. So how exactly we define strings in Java programming, which is defined as a group of characters. So they are objects of type string. I mean, capital S, always remember. So the class string is defined in Java programming with S as a caps, which is a built-in class in Java. Every time we are creating an object of this class and we are making it as a string. That's a very important observation we have. And this, whatever the strings you created using the string class are immutable. Once you get create, once the string gets create, you cannot change it to the existing string. What you can do is you can use the existing string and attach, append or delete or something with respect to the new string that you are going to create, but the actual string retains the same characters what has been used uh, while creating. So that's a very important observation we should have. So strings are immutable. So suppose if you wish to change it to the existing content itself, so don't use the string class. You should go for the string buffer class in order to manipulate, or if you have any dynamic changes with respect to the characters of a string, you can go for the string buffer. As I mentioned, the string and string buffer are the panel classes, and you cannot make it a subclass of it, and you cannot add your own features. So you should be able to use the only the built-in functions and set of libraries defined with respect to these classes. Okay, let's move on to the creation of the threads in Java programming. Here it goes like this. String is a built-in class, and always you should create an object of the string class, new string, and object of that class need to be assigned to the variable yes. And now onwards, now this is a empty string. You have not specified any characters for it. It's just a creation of the empty string. If you want to assign a characters for the strings that you are going to create, so here are the couple of examples for the creation of the strings. String is a built-in class. You should define a variable called x of type string, and always you should specify the set of character to be added as a part of the string within a pair of double quote mark, and from where the memory will be allocated for these strings is it is from the heap, but even though if it is from the heap, you cannot change it dynamically. Next, from the heap, memory block will be allocated. Whatever the set of characters you have used will be a part of it, and for this memory block, a reference will be created, and that reference will be assigned to the variable x. So x is just a reference to the object created, string object with the characters Java, and the variable x is a reference to the object it is created. And now can we concatenate the two different strings if we are doing so? The value of my x is a Java, and I want to concatenate with the rules. That is another string. So what we can do is x.concat is a built-in function in Java programming in order to concatenate the two strings. Here x is a invoking string, and that is a first string, and other one is a rules is a second string. So which is already existing thing, and new string that has been created now in while performing the concatenation. You may ask the question, as strings are immutable, then how can we concatenate? So these operations will be performed like this. Take the content from the existing string and create a new string object by taking the value of the second argument, and then create a new string object that is returned. So that is written again, it can be preserved in a separate reference variable. Next, we'll move on to the another examples of creating the string. String str is equal to abc. This is the first way. Directly you can mention the string within a pair of double quote mark, and assign to the string variable str. And another alternative or indirect way of creating the string is, what you should do is you should create a array of characters and specify each of the characters separated by the comma operator. So it may be any number of characters. And altogether, this character array can be passed as an argument for the string constructor. And of course, str will be a ABC. And for indexing, str of 0 is A, str of 1 is B, and str of 2 is C. So that is a straightforward. It is both are the same technique for creating the string. And if a data array in the above example is modified after the string object is created, then str remains unchanged. And new separate instance will be created. That's what it means. Construct a string object by passing another string object. Yeah, I have the str. Say I have a new and a horizon. So assume that my value of str1 is new, and I can create a new string from the existing string is string str2 is equal to new string of str1, and I will get a separate object with the same set of characters that has been created for the string 1 also. So now new value is duplicated. I mean, I'm talking about a new horizon now. That new horizon, the entire string will be duplicated. That is associated with the str1 reference variable and str2 reference variables. Next, length method. It is a built-in class of the string library, which returns the number of characters associated with the string that is used for invoking the length method, which is nothing but returns the length of the string. Take an example of the system.out.println of Varun is my string. Varun is my string that is specified within a pair of dot length method within a pair of parentheses, empty pair of parentheses. It counts the number of characters of this string Varun. Even total 5 characters are there, and returns it prints the value 5. And the plus and one more plus operator. Either you can use a concat built-in function in order to concatenate two strings, or you can use the plus operator in order to concatenate the two different strings. So take an example of have a name called Varun, and my name is another string, and you can use a plus my name. Here it is the actual character to be a part of the string plus followed by the variable my name. What is the value of variable my name? Which is Varun. So the new string created after the concatenation, which is my name is Varun, followed by the dot in full point. And whenever the plus comes, and this variable gets converted to string, and the strings will be counted. Next, followed by characters in a string can be retrieved in a number of ways. One is char at. Now look at this example. Syntax public char at of int of index. If I would like to know the what is a character located at a specific index value, and you can use the char at method, which returns the index of that character present in the string, invoking string if it is present. If the character itself that you are searching, if it is not there, then it returns -1. And total number of index values are ranging from 0 to length -1. If the length of your string is say 10, so your indexing starts from 0 to 9, which is 0 to length returns 10. So 10 minus 1 is 9, and 0 to 9 is varies. And char C is equal to abc dot char at of 1. Actually, char at it returns the character at a specified index. So char at the specified index 1 is, which is a in the ABC 0 and 1. So it returns the character B, and which will be stored in a variable C. So that's what it is. Next, equals method. Equals method, it is used to compare the invoking string with the object specified. If you have a two strings, string 1 and a string 2, so string 1 will be your invoking string and string 2 will be the object specified. So it returns true if the argument is not null and the string object which contains the same sequence of characters as the invoking string. I mean to say, assume that I have a string 1, say S1, new horizon, string 2, new horizon, and if I say S1 dot equals of S2, which returns true. And if my string 1 is say new and string 2 is say new horizon, S1 dot equals of S2, which returns false. It is not with respect to the length or anything else. If a one-to-one characters of the string 1 and string 2 are same, then it returns true, otherwise it returns false. Now, some cases, what happens when you are dealing with the lower and uppercase values, if you want to ignore the lower and uppercase characters, you can, while comparing the two string characters, you can use equals ignore case method. So public boolean equals ignore case of string another string. S1 dot equals ignore case of this. Look at this. Very important thing to understand in Java programming, the difference between equals and double equal symbol, when to use a double equal and when to use the equals, and the result of it. Now I have two strings. String S1 is equal to hello, string S2 is equal to hello, and all the characters are uppercase. So this is my heap. In the heap, only one string will be created, hello, because sequence of characters are remains the same. When you are creating the strings like this using the straightforward variable creation like this, string S1 is equal to hello and string S2 is equal to hello like this. Then this object, what has been created in the heap, a reference of this object is given to both S1 and S2, which is nothing but S1 and S2 are referring to the same string. So at the memory level, although it is only one object, but you have two different paths, S1 and S2, or we call it as a two different reference variable that refers to the same object. And of course, if the object is the same, always it returns the same hash code that is assigned to this object. So 3E25EE, 3E25EE. So it's the same hash code for both objects and S1 and S2. So coming to this, when I should use a double equal and when I should use a equals method. So I have a string S1 and define the class called string test and a main method inside the main method. So string S1 is equal to hello, h caps. String S2 is equal to hello, h caps. Now each of these characters are same. Each of these characters are same, and S1 and S2 are the objects. S1 dot S2, S1 double equals S2, and it returns the string objects or reference are same. And the expected output of this program is string objects reference are same, because a set of characters are remains the same. In order to compare whether these two string objects S1 and S2 are referred to the same object at the memory level, and we can use a double equal symbol which returns a true. So you can observe is a same. Now coming to the equals method, when to use the equals method here. Here it is my program. S1 hello and S2 is also hello. S1 dot equals of S2. Now how equals works will be like this. H and H you compare, E and E, L and L, and L and L, O and O. If all the characters of the string 1 are matches with all the characters of the string 2, then it returns true, and the output of this program are is that is a strings of equal. What happens if instead of lowercase e, if we have a uppercase E, then the outcome will be a strings are not same. Instead of equals, if I use equals ignore case, we have discussed another function now, equals ignore case. If I use again, the outcome will be strings are equal. Take an example of another one. Now here we are creating a string using a straightforward technique just by assigning a string within a pair of double quote mark and assign to S1. And here is another technique for creating a string using a new operator. So strings are created using a new operator. String S1 is equal to new string of hello and the string S2 is equal to new string of hello. When you use a new no, even though the characters are same, the objects are not same. A separate objects will be created and the value of the first object is also hello and the value of the second object is also hello. And the hash code assigned for each of these objects will be different. Definitely. So 325AD and 325AE. So it's a different AD and AE. The generation of hash code, it is not in our control. Your operating system will assign it. Now we'll try to use the double equal and equals method on a string that is created using a new operator. So double equal, when both the reference variable S1 and S2 are referring to the same objects in the memory, it returns true, otherwise it returns false. In this example, as the objects are created using the new operator and both the objects are different and so references are not same, definitely it will be different. The output of this program is string objects referenced are not same. So try to apply the equals method on the same. And equals method, if you use instead of S1 double equal S2, S1 dot equals of S2, and if all the characters are same, in this example, all are same, which returns true. Next, we'll move on to the string class methods. String class methods, if I would like to know whether a specific string starts with any substring in specific, then we can do so like this. A public boolean always returns either a true or a false, starts with the string prefix. So January is a string where I need to test. Dot, of course, you can use it in the double quote mark, or you can make it as a S1 is equal to double quote mark January. Then S1 dot starts with of Jan. Both are the same. Or you can say string 1 is equal to within double quote mark January and string 2 is equal to Jan within a double quote mark. So S1 dot starts with of S2. Both are same. And in this example, whether it starts with a capital JAN, yes it is. And which returns a true here. And in the similar way, how we are working with the starts with, and also we can do so with for the ends with. If a string is ends with January, I just wanted to test whether it ends with the RY. January dot ends with the RY. Compare to, which is a very important library functions in order to compare two strings to know which string is bigger or smaller, which is with respect to the length. We'll get a negative number if the string object is less than the argument. So how do we make a call to the compare to method is, so S1 will be your invoking string and S2 will be the argument string. So invoking string will become a string 1 and argument string will become a string 2. So when you are doing so, we'll get a negative number if string 1 is less than string 2. If S1 is less than S2, then we'll get a negative number. We'll get a positive number if S1 is greater than S2. And we'll get a value 0 if a string 1 and string 2 both are equal. And it is not only with respect to the length and also with respect to the characters. If both are same, then you can compare which is smaller and which is bigger. And if you want to ignore the cases, upper and lower cases of the characters, you can use a compare to ignore case of. Index of library function which searches the first occurrence of a character, or a substring, and returns -1 if the character does not occur, and if the character or a substring, if it is present, it returns the starting index of that character or string. So index of, there are two variations here, two overloaded versions of index of. One is with the integer, that is nothing but your character equivalent value of your ASCII value, and another one is with the string argument. And in this case, it searches for the character presented by CH within this string, and returns the index of the first occurrence of this character. As I mentioned, there may be a number of repetitions of that character in a string. Always it returns the index of the first character that has been appeared in the string that you have used to invoke this index of. In the similar way, for index of string the str, it searches for the substring specified by the str within this string and returns the index of the first occurrence of this. And let's say, let's take an example of any sentence, and if a substring called any w is repeated number of times, then it returns the index of the first occurrence of that substring. So if you take an example of string str is equal to how is your day today, and str dot index of t, it searches for the character t in the entire string, one after the other, one after the other. Here we got, it returns the index of this character as a return value of index of. What is index of this character t? I'll just talk about the index value only for this example. Further, I will not take it. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 is the index of the character t, so that will be written to the column. Okay. Index of, next we'll move on to the index of with another overloaded version, which has two arguments, a character to be searched and from where you want to search. Always, if you have a string of say 25 characters, I don't want to search the first 10 characters. So you can do so by indicating the second argument. So index of the 10th character is which is 9. From 9, I can specify the second argument, and of course, it is for the character and it is for the string. That is the only difference. And how was your day today? You try to search the character from the index 6. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will not be taken into the consideration. From 6 here, check whether any character is present. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. I mean, from the beginning, the index value of this A is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So the value 14 will be written for this character A, which is an index. So like how you are doing the index of, in the similar way, the last index of you can use. Index of, it will start from the beginning, and the last index of start from the end of the string. And next method is substring, which is very, very important for solving the string related problems. And this method returns a new string, which is actually a substring of the given string. And we can specify only the one argument or a two argument. If you specify the one argument, it starts from that index value till the end of the string. A new substring will be created and it is returned. For the two argument example, starting index of the substring that you want to create and ending index of the substring that you want to create. So let's take an example. I have a string called unhappy dot substring of 2, which means start from the index 2, 0, 1, and 2. From happy, from the character h, is there any second argument here? No. If there is no second argument, hatty till the end of the string, the content is considered and it returns happy. Substring of the syntax of the two argument syntax of the substring method, beginning index and the end index, start and the end. Smiles substring of 1 comma 5. So 0 comma 1, here it starts and stops at the one index value less than the second argument mentioned. Now it stops at 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. MILE. These characters are included as a output. Yes won't be included because yes comes under the index value 5, which is not a part of our concat. Either you can use a plus operator or you can use a concat method in order to concatenate the strings. So 2.concat of get.concat of her returns together. Of course, it is an example of creating another string reference variable, and if you create a new string variable, how it is created from the keep and that is sent to the reference variable. String class members replace, and if you want to replace any characters, now this is very important. You should remember, I have a library functions replace in order to replace the old character with the new character in the string. Now, one conclusion you have to make it clear is replace, as the strings are immutable. You may ask the question, how can you replace it? It's very simple. It will read the actual string, and wherever the character that you are replacing, a new character will be included and a new string will be constructed, and the original will remain intact. So in this example, Wipra Technologies A and A. So there is a spelling mistake and we want to correct it, and all the occurrences of A are replaced with the O. For that, you can make it as dot replace of A with O returns. So Wipro Technologies. Split function, very important for solving the string problems and also for handling the regular expressions. A syntax of a split will be split regular expression you can mention, or arrays dot to string of s dot split of a. Wherever the a comes till this, this substring will be created, and after that one empty string and followed by the another string called d. And, take another example of yes, that is Pankaj, New York, USA. So I'll try to apply s dot split of comma. So split function always it takes a two argument. In this example, the first argument always will be a separator character, which is to be considered for the split of the string, and the second argument two is used in order to create the number of substrings. I am limiting myself for the creation of the two substrings. If the second argument is not given, if there are 10 strings are there that meets this criteria of the separator, 10 strings will be created and 10 strings will be written as array of strings with a variable name as a data. Array of strings with a variable name as a data. In this example, I am limiting to only two substrings I want. So here separator I am using is a comma operator, comma and comma, and it returns only the two strings, the first one and the second one. So let us try to print the here as it returns one more thing, sorry. Here as it returns the two substrings, the index of those two substrings will be data of 0 and data of 1. System.out.println of name is equal to plus data of 0, which is a Pankaj, and data of 1 is New York, USA. So even though there is a comma between York and USA, this is not considered for the split because we limited ourselves for the creation of the string words limited to only 2. And if it is not mentioned, of course, output will be different. Data of 0 will be Pankaj, and data of 1 will be New York, and data of 2 will be a USA. Next one, trim method, which is used to remove the leading and trailing white spaces. In this string, I have there are a couple of white spaces here. In order to remove the leading white spaces of this string and a trailing white spaces of this string, you can use a trim, and a new string will be created like this. Next, value of method, which is used to convert a character array into the strings, and which results into the string representation of the argument passed as a character array. So all this value of char c, boolean of b, int I, and long I, which are all these library functions are used to get the equivalent string of the values that you have specified here. Next one, a two lowercase and a two uppercase. In order to convert all the characters of the string that we are used in a string to the lowercase, you can use string 1 dot 2 lowercase, and result will be all the characters are converted to the lowercase, and 2 uppercase convert all the characters to the uppercase by making use of this examples. Hello world dot 2 lowercase, output will be a hello world in a lowercase, and this needs to be converted to the uppercase. Hello world dot 2 uppercase, and all the characters of this hello world are converted to the uppercase. This is what a set of library functions that we have explored, all the important library functions of the string class that I am able to explain. This is the end of the session 7, which explores the library functions of a string class. So in the next session, that is a session 8, I'm exploring the details of these all these library functions. I'm demonstrating a couple of problems that are solved using the string handling library functions. So that is a part of your session 8. So here it is the content from me, and I'll try to conclude the session, and we'll stop it. Thank you very much.